What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. All right, let's kick it off today with some comedy and some stupid stuff. Uh, it is funny. I posted a video about it, and it's been going on, all day and probably even late last night. Uh, Donald Trump inadvertently, he didn't know what he was saying. I know he didn't know what he was saying because he would have never called himself stupid. But his followers, I don't know, maybe not, because he said, I love the poorly educated. So he knew that if you're going to follow him and be like obeying him with blinders on, I love me Trump, I love me some Trump, you had to be stupid. Because he literally comes out and says, smart people don't like me. This is the same dude. I've been telling y'all I did Trump Whisperer translated stupid. I told you he was stupid a long time ago. But he was out there telling people, that smart people don't like me. Remember, he said his uncle was smart and he believes in genes. And I ain't talking about like, Levi's or 501s or whatever the hell it is. He believes in genes with the Genes. I'm pretty sure he can't spell it. But in that way, he meant that because his one uncle is smart. His kids, no. Nobody we know in the family is smart. The only other person we know that could possibly be smart, we know that his brother was smart. The one that decided not to get into business and became like a pilot or some shit like that. The one that was like, I think her name is Mary Trump, who's a writer. She's smart. That side of the family got the brains. Donald Trump, nope. Nope, not at all. They got the dysfunction, the everything bad ended up on that side of the family. Him. He was a defect since birth. You can tell that because of the family will say that. His sister used to say that he was stupid. His mom from the history, but again, that's not necessarily proven. But if everybody else thought he was stupid, mom and dad knew the sperm and the egg was a little off with him. Because the other ones, they really wanted the other ones to run the business, but they could only get the dumb one to actually do the crap that they wanted to do, the illegal stuff. The other family was like, nah, we ain't doing it, right? So Donald Trump goes out. Nobody eggs him on to say what he's saying. We're going to play it, but he goes out and basically admits that the people who follow him are dumb as fuck.
Smart people don't like me, and they don't like what we talk about, but he's become radicalized. So many things have been learned about him so quickly. He's become totally radicalized. And
see, now he goes on about this kid, Tyler Robinson, and we find out more information about that today. Now, they came out and said that the trans person is actually participating and helping, even though Tyler Robinson told that person, the mate, girlfriend, whatever the person wants to be called, that, to not tell anybody, keep your mouth closed. That person has been running their mouth. And that's fine. They have their own choice to do that. That's totally fine. But that's the person that's the good person in the group. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Robinson's a piece of shit human. The other person that loves him but can't understand why he did what he did and is cooperating, you get people like Nancy Grace saying there's a tranny in the situation. I'm like, wow. So you're going to call the person a tranny, even though the trans person did not know he was doing it, did not want him to do it, and turned his ass in. Literally wrote it down, signed, sealed, delivered, and is participating. You're going after the person who's a trans person as if the trans person is the person that shot the person. No, it was the dude raised by Republicans, MAGAs who love him. That's the dude that did it. These tricks are out here saying we gotta pray because that's what Charlie Kirk would have wanted. Charlie Kirk hated trans people, and so they hate this trans person, even though that's the person that helped bring him to justice. These people are evil, yo. I'm telling you, there's no God in their life. There's no way. You are hating on somebody who's a trans person, calling them a tranny as if they did it, but you can't call the other kid out for what he did. as much as you said about him is you need prayer and shit. Got radicalized. So in other words, if without being radicalized, he was a good white dude. So what changes a person from going from radicalized, from just a good person to a radicalized person? And like I said before, being radicalized, I want you guys to really, if hear me and hear me clear. If you're radicalized, and I'm going to take this back to just me here, just get back to it. I just have my audio up, but I'm going to take it back to me. If you're radicalized, okay, if you're radicalized, I want you to understand. Let's go back to Osama bin Laden, right? When Osama bin Laden was out there and being free, and a lot of people on the internet, not a lot, but many people who got indoctrinated with their information, and they got radicalized online and ended up start wearing whatever they call the hat or turban, whatever. I don't want to disrespect the culture, but the scarf around their head, and also those Afghan scarves and all this stuff like that, and grew long beards. And in America, they were protesting. Some of them caused crimes. Some of them got on an actual plane or boat or whatever it is and went over to Afghanistan and other places to fight America. When you talk about being somebody who got indoctrinated with some other ideology, that person's not turning him or herself in. That person's unaliving him or herself and staying true to the plan. That person ain't coming back to somebody or mom and dad and saying, hey, look, I did it. They're not doing that if they're radicalized, because again, they owe what they did to the individual that had radicalized them. So the mission was complete. So he would have went right back to the person who gave him this mission. You feel me? So they use the word radicalized as if this kid really got radicalized. They don't have any proof of that. They haven't shown that to us. And just his actions alone tell us he's not radicalized in the sense that they're trying to put, like some, trans cabal, some group on the internet did this. They don't have that information yet. Today they showed us they did not have that information. But yet we got Pam Bondi, we got Donald Trump, we got Stephen Miller, we got J.D. Vance, we got Kash Patel, all out here with this narrative. I can understand people on the internet just searching things left and right because we don't have any access to the real information. We're getting it from you and trying to discern what's true and what's not, realizing that you guys lie through your fucking teeth. So we got to figure out, splash it and try to figure it out. And we're going to get it wrong because you guys got the actual information and you're feeding us little tidbits. No, and I understand if it's a case, you can't just feed us everything. But the reality is we know that you guys lie. So why are you trying to make this guy seem like he was radicalized? Donald Trump said he was radicalized on the internet for something, and he had Republican parents who was just good. The kid mentioned that his parents were MAGA. Now, we don't know whether he disliked dad and mom because they were MAGA or because he was MAGA and he decided to break away from MAGA because they tried to indoctrinate him. You know, one thing I realized, if you go back and look at people who get like radicalized, they usually come from a family that is like staunch in something. They're like staunch like Republicans. They're staunch Muslims. They're staunch whatever. It's always those people who are rigid in their family. And when that kid breaks, that's the way that kid was raised. In his Republican family, he was raised with these like harsh ideologies. And they go from one harsh ideology to another one. They still have their Republican ideology. The way they're being branded to be a certain way. They're being raised racist. Ask his mom and dad, are they racist? Ask him, did they think Charlie Kirk was racist? Again, these things do not dissipate. That child in jail right now still has those racist ideologies. He may have switched over in the sense of believing that people could not be this way, that this hateful shit needs to stop. He may have broke from it and realized his family is the one that was indoctrinating him with a bunch of shit, and he broke away from it. And he probably, I don't know exactly what the reason is, but that's what it sounds like. He came away from something because he's like, his thing was to say there's so much hate in Charlie Kirk that it's not basically redeemable. You can't undo this. So he saw the hate in Charlie Kirk. Now, that doesn't mean he was a Democrat because he didn't align with Democrats. That doesn't mean he's independent. That could just mean he recognized hate. That could mean that he fell in love with a trans person and realized that his entire life he was raised to hate them, and turns out is one of the most loving people that he's ever met, and he felt like he was betrayed by mom and dad. That could be a situation. But no, they're trying to turn the parents into some kind of fucking like, oh, they're just like they're just wonderful people. We don't know that. That's not factual. Donald Trump liked him because the parents like him. That's it. There is no definitive term that these kids were like, oh, they love Trump. That Trump and this family's like, oh, he said they love Trump, the kid. So if they love Trump, they're automatically good to him. Remember, he released 9/11 people because they did dirt for him. That does not say that you are a good person. Donald Trump calls you good if you kiss his ass. So this narrative that he's pushing out for the parents, I don't get. And again, I don't understand how that gun was their grandfather's. How did he get access to it? That was the grandfather's gun. How did the kid get access to it? Was it at his parents' house? Because here's the thing. There were, and it's been this way for a little while now, they have been charging, and I guess it maybe depends on the state, they have been charging parents for when their kids commit crimes when guns are readily available for them and you know something's wrong with them. They have come out and said that they knew something was wrong with their son. And now there's a weapon in the house that you didn't hide or lock up, even though you're saying you're previously saying that he had an issue that you thought something was wrong with him, and then he carries a gun that he gets from you. There are 2 white people right now whose son, I think, either shot up a school and killed somebody, that mom, dad, and son are all in jail. Why aren't we looking at that for these parents? Why are reporters asking that about these parents? If that law is out there and these people actually aided and abetted, they gave him a gun, told him he can have it, even though they're coming out now saying he had some issues. Started getting more political. He started having problems. Oh, so you noticed it. Oh, then you're just adding to the pot here. You noticed that something was going on and you still kept the gun unlocked for him to have. You didn't take the gun away from him. It's your grandfather's gun. He was worried that if he didn't have the gun, dad was going to be mad. That's what he said. My dad's going to be mad. Got to get that gun back. I'm fucked if I don't get it back. So your gun is missing, the one that you care about, that your son has. And you know, you're saying this, mom and dad, that your son was a little off. He wasn't the same. He became more political and blah, blah, blah. So if you thought there was something wrong with him, then why didn't you pull grandpa's gun away from him? We got people in jail right now because their son did the exact same shit. Took the gun to school, though. I believe it was. And they're both serving time because of it. At least they were in court the last time, I think. I believe they charged with it, put it that way. I don't know what the final verdict was. So these people have a gun. Now, you want us to believe that they don't have anything to do with it. Okay, maybe you found something out there, you're investigative, whatever, and the trans person don't have anything to do with it. Then why are the rest of the Republicans out here mentioning tranny? And I'm sorry that I'm saying something that's highly disrespectful to trans people. I don't mean to call you that. I'm saying this is what they're saying. Why are they saying that? Why are they so mad at the trans person? And that's the person that's been cooperating. They got all the smoke for the trans person, but none of the smoke from the white conservative that they are trying their best to distance themselves from, while trying to embrace the parents who raised this little shit and put a gun in his hand as a child. Then they go around talking about liberal this and liberal that. I want you guys to understand something. In the history of this country since 1776, we don't need to divide by party, because there's one thing that's normalized in this that kills me that we aren't recognizing, right? When you talk about Chicago, what do people talk about? Black on black crime. There's so much black crime in Chicago. So much black crime. Every time crime comes around, if the person's black, oh, they got to stop this black on black. Got to stop this black on black. You're all into black. You're not into the actual circumstance. We got to stop this poverty. We got to stop the drugs in that community. We got to stop the over policing in that community. We got to stop, the poverty in that community. You're not talking about the shit that causes the fucking problem. You're not talking about the individual that just did the fucking problem. You're talking about the entire fucking race as if that one person doing something is the entire black fucking race. Those two people who may be in a gang shooting at each other is not black on black. These are two crime on crime. It means that these people are gang on gang violence, not black on black. But you're too readily to say black. But when you look at these particular political violence and these crimes, what are they? They are way over 80-something% white on white crimes. 80. White on white. Why ain't we said that yet? What is wrong with white men that they got to do this type of shit? Not all white men, but again, when you say black on black crime, you're mentioning all black people. You don't say black criminals on black criminals. You don't say that. You say black on black. It involves the entire race. Even though you may not mean it, you don't say the definitive term. Black criminals, black gangs. You say black on black. That incorporates us all. So when a cop pulls me over, he sees me as a criminal first until I prove that I'm not. Though 80% of these crimes are committed by white men. So why when you pull a white man over, you ain't scared and pulling your gun on them? Because their race hasn't been demonized. Their actions have. So when you look at a criminal that's white, you look at that guy as an individual. When you look at a black person that's a criminal, you look at that person as a race. Tell me this country is not fucking racist. This man, 22 years old, is a white male. You have yet to hear one person on TV, I haven't seen it, that is dealing with this as a white on white crime. A white male. Over 80%, or around 80, 77 to 80% in the history, y'all. Since 1776, out of all the political crimes in the freaking United States of America, 249 years, over 80% are white males. It has shit to do with what party they belong to. Why is this? That's overrepresentation of how many that they are in this country. This country is like 50 something. It ranges from 50 to 60% white. It's 80%. You're way over the number. Why is that? What is the grievance? In each individual case of the political situation, a lot of the times, overwhelmingly, it had to deal with race. Them liking or not liking black people. Them liking or not liking Latin people. Them liking or not liking freedom. So if they're overwhelmingly, the people in this country that commit the crimes, why are we not afraid of them? Why don't we put on the news another white on white crime today? Why don't we do that? Because it would be astronomical to the point where everybody would be afraid of white people because you see it every day. Every day there's a crime going on. Every day. And the only ones this country even talks about or don't talk about is white on white crime. They'll talk about the Latin community. They'll talk about the Asian community. They'll talk about the black community horrifically. But when it happens in a white community, they just say, there's a man that John Withers or whatever is the one who killed him. They don't talk about white guy kills an entire family. This white guy killed his entire family. No, John Peterson killed his entire family. I'm getting sick of us not calling a thing a thing. I'm getting sick of black people being the only group that you separate out as black crime. You don't separate shit with white crime. You don't separate shit with Latin crime. It's only black. I asked everybody here, and many times I don't ask it before. Have you ever heard white on white crime? Have you ever heard Latin on Latin crime? Have you ever heard Asian on Asian crime? Have you ever heard Muslim on Muslim crime? You fucking have not. You've only heard black on black crime. And ask yourself why. The biggest threat the FBI said in this country was white nationalism. Yet we're not arresting these people. We're not doing things to monitor them. When we had black groups back in the day, the Black Panthers, they demonized these people, but their original plan was to protect themselves from racist cops who would come into their communities, beat their wives, rape their wives, kill their sons and daughters. They gang together and say, you know what? You ain't going to do that shit anymore. They started to protect themselves. White people demonized this group. Everyday white people demonized them. Why? The same thing they did with Black Lives Matter. Demonized it because it was helping people out and making out other people to look like they are racist. When you look at these Republicans will say, oh, well, black on black crime, they had during the Black Lives Matter, it was just so many, it was burning buildings down, blah, 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 blah. Did you go back and check that the majority of these particular crimes were committed by white people in this group? Not all of them, but the majority of them, either white people who said they were a part of Black Lives Matter. Nope, we're not. We got video of a guy dressed up in all black, a white dude. Black people are really addressing him like, why are you painting on this building? Why are you doing this, that, and the third? Why are you breaking glass? And he just walks away, covers his face. Two white girls painting all over the freaking wall and shit like that and fucking up property. Black people sitting right there saying, what the fuck are you doing? They're going to think we doing that shit. Why are you doing that? They weren't a part of Black Lives Matter. A restaurant was burned down to a ground. It turned out to be a white girl pissed off at her black boyfriend. But she burned it down. Had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. Just happened to be her moment. She saw a bunch of shit going on and she's so pissed, boom, she set something on fire. These things were not of Black Lives Matter. It was of idiotic people who found an opportunity when black people gathered to cause problems. I'm not saying there weren't any black criminals there. I'm just saying they weren't a part of Black Lives Matter. They were just criminals that found a way in to do dirt while black people were marching for good. And they blamed it on Black Lives Matter because they were the one organizing. And these racists and these criminals, they found their time to do the dirt, and they did it. There have been many of riots after football games, basketball games, championships, at Hermosa Beach and others where it was majority white people. And you know what they said they were doing? They were celebrating their city. They were a little rambunctious. They were just having fun and celebrating their team. $1 million worth of freaking damage, and that's all it was called. They moved on with that shit. It wasn't called a riot. It wasn't called nothing else. People got hurt, stampeded, all this shit. Didn't call it anything other than these white people having a good time, and they're kind of a little rowdy. And the thing you don't see, when these white people are celebrating their team, their hockey game, you don't see black people running up and burning down buildings so they can blame it on your white asses, do you? You don't see that shit. That's because that's not within us. We had two people, I believe the other one's in Mississippi. I just got this information earlier today. I haven't delved deep into it, so I'm not going to go with fact or no fact. I just want you to know, I don't know of, never heard of, I've studied history, I've never even looked at any case whatsoever where a black person hung themselves. There are two black people that have been hung in the past day or so. One had a broken leg or broken arm. How the fuck you break your arm and leg and hang yourself? And the police are like, oh, there's no foul play. Fuck you. There is foul play. I'm telling you, black people are getting tired of this shit. Okay? I have every wit in my head to put money together to make sure that whomever the fuck did this, because trust me, when you live in a community as a black person, you know the racist, the people that you don't want to be around when they'll tell you don't go by that person's house at night. Don't go by this. You know the people in your community who would do something like this. Black people in that community, you know. I have everything in my mind to put together money to turn their asses in. Family, whomever. Everything in my mind. I might start a GoFundMe just for that because I want your ass in jail and I want them to give you the death penalty the same way you gave it to the black kid. I want to visit that hanging. I am going to bring food, chips, some dessert, a soda, all that. I'm going to be there early. Get my space. Put me up a tent. Cook me some food there. Wait for them to lynch your ass. And I'm going to get me a piece of you at that. Pants, something. Because that's what you need. You can't tell me no black kid hung himself with a broken leg or broken arm. Fuck you. And you can't rely on this FBI because they're a bunch of racists. You can't rely on DOJ, bunch of racists. Not one of them mentioned this story today. In 2025, nobody should be getting hung. But I'm ready for that checkmate. It's about time so you start hanging this white dude, whoever killed him. If it was a black dude, you got to go too. There ain't going to be no more hangings without somebody putting up money so we can get your ass too. You need to be afraid, whoever the fuck did this. You need to be afraid. I'm tired of this fucking shit. Nobody should be walking down the street and just the color of their fucking skin lets them see the end of a noose. This shit has got to stop. I don't give a fuck what state it's in. We should not stand for this shit. There's no way a police officer or anybody should say a kid with a broken leg or a broken arm hung himself and there's no foul play. Fuck you. That's the same shit they did with the young man who got shot in the stomach by white people. Oh, there's no foul play. And they let those people sit on their own. Now they're sitting in jail. But the police in that fucking state literally said that nothing big happened there because the guy who ended up chasing him down used to be either an officer or he knew the prosecutor, and the prosecutor didn't do shit. I think she should be in jail right now. They need to be afraid that whatever the fuck they're going to do, we got them. They need to know if they get caught, fuck jail. They should die the same way they hurt somebody. We're getting sick of these motherfuckers sitting in jail for fucking ever. You should feel the same fucking pain that you put on somebody. You should see the same fear in your eyes when you took their life. I'm getting tired of being nice to this shit. The more nice we are, the more they keep doing it. I'm saying that with 10 toes down. This needs to stop. And none of this, oh, well, they had a bad life. Fuck that. I ain't trying to hear what's going on in their life. I ain't trying to hear that they lost their job. They should not have hung a black child no matter what. Or any child for that matter. But it's so weird how black people ended up on the end of a noose. And you really think, there was one here in California somewhere. I mean, you really think black people climb trees and hang themselves? When the shit has ever happened in history? Let's finish off with this dipshit saying he's stupid.
Smart people don't like me, and they don't like what we talk about. But he's become radicalized. So many things have been learned about him so quickly. He's become totally radicalized and
Not radicalized.
crazy. And it must have been traumatic because the parents are conservative people, supposed to be very nice people, living in Utah, and the father turns in the son. Boy, that's a tough deal. I actually asked somebody in the FBI, how often does that happen where, knowing even the guilt, that a father will turn in or parents will turn in the son? And he said, almost never. Smart people.
Okay. So he's basically saying he wouldn't turn his son in. He just want to make sure that, it's like, how stupid could that be to turn your own son in? That's what he's saying. Now, I don't know myself whether I would have turned my kid in either, but the reality is, it is what it is. What happened, happened. Him being radicalized, I don't believe it. There hasn't been any real definitive term that he's been radicalized other than by his parents. The trans person doesn't seem to have anything to do with it and just loves the kid. So that right there is just total, like, innocent, have nothing to do with it. That person shouldn't even be fucking mentioned. They ain't got shit to do with it. None whatsoever. This kid being whatever it is called, gay, whatever, by whatever this young man, the killer is, Tyler Robinson, his sexuality ain't got shit to do with what he did. Bringing that shit up is nothing but a divisive tactic to get away from the fact that this dude was raised conservative. This dude was around Republicans his entire life. He's only been in this relationship for less than 2 years, if that. He's in college. He's 22. He went to college for 6 months, and then he went to some kind of tech school or whatever. So we're looking at going to college at 18, maybe, if that. That means he went there for one semester, 19, went to this college possibly 2 years. Don't know how long he's been in a relationship. And the person who he's in a relationship with is not radicalized. So why is the trans person even being brought up? They should be thanking the trans person. This is a good person. No matter how much she loves the man that's in jail, she loved the law even more. They should be celebrating this person and saying thank you for doing the right thing. And now the police may be doing that behind the scenes. I don't know that. But I'm talking about these people. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Donald Trump. They should not, Nancy Mace, they should not be bringing up this person as being a trans person or tranny when she is doing everything right. They just hate who she is, and they don't know her. That's the fucked up part about it. You don't know this child. You hate somebody else's kid. Your kid could turn out to be a trans person. And you're going to sit here and tell me you're just going to hate your baby because they are who they are and they're finally being happy and transition to what they want to be? You got so much hate that you can't allow a child or a person become, that's not going to fuck with you whatsoever. That child's going to be happy. You're going to fuck with their life because you can't stand seeing it. That is some of the evilest shit. These people transfer hate into everything. Like I said, there's no God in them because where's the love? I never see them talk about love in anything. They're always hate, 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 hate. The only thing they love is being evil. Why do they have a problem with this trans child? Why? They're doing everything right. They're doing something that maybe you wouldn't do or your kids wouldn't do. Donald Trump's right there saying he wouldn't have done it. And you turn against a person who's literally doing the right thing. That's just horrible. We shouldn't even know about this child's sexuality whatsoever. Her sexuality has shit to do with this dude murdering. Nothing. We shouldn't even know that she's trans at all. We should just know the person's name. You demonized in the public eye. I hope this child is safe. I pray this child is safe because these idiots out here may be trying to harm this child and they ain't doing nothing but the right thing and loving what they love. Who am I to tell you who you're supposed to be? I get tired of people telling me that. I have never, like the person who told me years ago, I never woke up and chose straight. I just am. Anyway, um, so that was Donald Trump getting his little 2 cents in and calling himself stupid and his followers stupid. You know, somebody reached out to me on Instagram. I put out a video during uh, I used the character Trump whisperer translating stupid, and I said beware. I said public service announcement. Beware of, like, you know, not radicalized, but of white men who are conservative, uh, MAGA, and so it's like four things, you know, and white male. Beware of them because of such and such, and it's you know, when I do Trump Whisperer, I'm just having fun with it, and it's supposed to be funny. I mentioned a couple of things that are kind of funny, but it's factual. It has facts in it, but it's being funny. Person reached out to me and said, somebody told me that you was over here speaking facts. Where's the facts? Because I was making fun of the fact that you need to beware of white men, playing on the fact that the majority of people who commit these types of crimes are white men. And if it was a black person, it'd be all over the fucking news. Black guy, black guy, black guy, black guy, black, black, black. He's a black guy, huh? What else? What did he do? You know it. Everybody knows it. But me playing on that and saying, white guy, white guy got offended and said, where's the facts at? I'm like, if you were looking for them, you could have read it, but you didn't want to look for them. You got offended and you didn't read. That's on you. That's not on me. I love playing with these people because they always get offended about the wrong thing. You'll say all this shit in there, and then I'll send in here white guy. Oh, I'm like, what did I say though? Was I wrong? Was mostly white guys committing these crimes? No. Since political crimes over like 80% since 1776, they've kept a steady 80% or more. You know that as far as when you get to like black people, if we really want to talk about political crimes and black people, we commit less than like 3%, if that, since history. And they're naming stuff that we fought so that, you know, we would stay alive. When they mention political crimes in this country since 1776 and black people are involved, let me tell you what crimes they're mentioning for black people when it's political. Let's see here. First of all, it's like, let me see where it says what the totality. We have black men, Nat Turner's rebellion, slave revolt. That's one of our black political crimes. Micah Xavier Johnson, he killed 5 police officers, stated retaliation for police shootings of black men. So that happened in 2016. Before 2016, it was 1831. After 2016, or in 2016, Gavin Long killed 3 Baton Rouge police officers, also framed as retaliation. So they, in this situation, no like excuses. There are literally 3 since 1831. It states, black political violence in the United States history is rare and often tied to rebellion, self-defense against systemic violence, enslavement, or police killings. So black people get tired of getting killed by racist white people and cops, and tired of being enslaved, and fight back to try to get their freedom. Those are the only political crimes that we've committed since freaking America started. And you got a shit ton. So much that they won't even give me a list fully of all white people have been doing. And most of those are fueled by mobs and gangs and racism and right-wing militias, domestic terrorism, anarchists, and all that shit. Again, Christopher Wray said, in this country, the biggest threat White nationalism for domestic violence in this country. And we haven't done anything about it. We haven't upped the police force toward them. We haven't been like infiltrating the organizations that they're in. There should be police officers, if not FBI agents, in this group called Groyper with Nick Fuentes. They should be patrolling the fuck out of that place, because that's supposedly where this kid came from, his ideology. There's no definitive yet. There's been all kinds of things that they said that he was radicalized online, and they mentioned that group and another group, 17, some group with a number. I don't know what the number is, so don't get me caught up with that particular thing. But it's some group with the number that they mentioned. They should be in these organizations, tracking them and arresting them for these particular things that they're doing. Had they been into this group, tracking them and arresting them, and they may be that we don't know, but they should be telling us that they are tracking them, especially if you don't want domestic violence to happen in this country. Domestic terrorism, if you don't want that to happen, then you should be informing these people that you're watching them. So therefore they can't act because they know they're going to get caught. Something. But you guys in the dark, what is that going to do? I don't know what that's going to do. When we had the Black Panthers, you let them be on notice that you was watching them. They didn't know for sure that you had them bugged, but they more than likely thought you did. I'm not saying you can stop every crime. That's stupid. But you should be talking about these organizations, just like you were talking about Malcolm X back when he was there, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers. You guys had a campaign of talking about them in the news and degrading them every fucking chance you got and calling them terrorists. You have yet to call these particular organizations by their name, terrorist groups. The KKK is a fucking terrorist group for hundreds of fucking years, and you still can't say it. Now we know that Groyper has that type of group think. And do we know what they felt after this dude unalived Charlie Kirk? Did we go and delve in and report on what they've been saying about it? No, but you out here trying to fire people and get people fired because they're indifferent to his death. He didn't like them. They don't like him. And tell me, when was the last time somebody you didn't like, you were like, oh, I'm so sad they died? You guys hate everybody. If Obama died tomorrow, Lord, don't let that happen. But if Obama did, you guys wouldn't shed a tear. Many of you would be like, good riddance. Should you get fired for that? Should you get doxxed for that? You guys never think forward for shit. You just think me, 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 me. This country is not a we. It is just a me. We try to incorporate you guys and you fuck everybody over. That's the reason why people don't like you. Not because you're just, oh, we don't like them because you just think different than us. No, you do evil shit and you expect to get patted on the back for it. The bills and laws that you guys try to pass only help the wealthy and gives a little crumbs to the middle class, and then the poor barely benefit. That's your strategy. That's your ideology. That's why the majority of the country are not Republican. If you decided to give the fuck about people and came up with true conservative ideals, you would bring people into your party, but you don't want that. You want people who are going to fuck everybody over and give you power and don't check you for it and hate on everybody else. You're aggrieved for some reason, and we're pissed off because you're in power. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm Democrat and have been Democrat, and I don't like everything Democrats do, is because, again, to me, they're the only party that focuses on all people. They don't give black people everything they want. They don't give Latin people everything they want. They don't give even poor white people everything they want. But they do give you one or two things each time they get into the presidency, and then they work on everybody else. That's what we're supposed to do, to be honest. If we want to advocate for something that we want as a people, whether it be black, Latin, or American, whatever it may be, then it's up to us to fight for it and put our foot on the political necks of those who we need to force to get what we need to get done. If we want to pay off our debt, we need to elect people that say that's going to be their priority. And if they don't do it, hold their feet to the fire. Let them know you're fucking gone. In 2 years, you're out of here. And we need to get together and say, yo, he's out. She's out. And live by that shit. Once they get the understanding that if you don't abide by the people, we're going to kick you out in 2 years. So keep playing your game. And we're going to rate you whether you're going to do what the people want or you're going to do what the billionaires want. And if you're a billionaire over the people, you out of there. No matter how much money they put out, we ain't voting for you. If the people did that, we could change the world to be what we need it to be. And I want conservatives to understand something. This ideology that you're conservative is bullshit. You're not conservative whatsoever. Because let me speak to the farmers real quick. Come here. Let me speak to the farmers real quick. Farmers, you're losing your land because you suck at making decisions. How about that? How about the fact that if you realize the last time Donald Trump put these tariffs on, you had to get a bailout. So when you decided to vote for Donald Trump, you should have been saving your money up because you know what he does to the economy for you. But see, you thought, just like some of these sorry ass people thought, that if Donald Trump got into office, they was going to get a STEMI check. Not even realizing that you have to have another fucking pandemic to get a STEMI check. And I mean, these people are beyond stupid. And you thought that you were going to put a man in office again because your feelings got hurt that he lost. Not realizing that he's going to do the same thing, and this time 100 times worse, that you're going to start losing shit. You thought he was going to be better than he was before when he sucked before? Oh, he was better at effing your life up. And you made that decision. Yes, you did. Put yourself in that position, and what? You're left in that position. And now you want us to bail you out. America, we should not bail these farmers out. They need to fall or figure it the fuck out. No bailouts should come to them. You made this decision. Now we need farmers who know business and should have stored up a little bit to realize if I'm going to vote for this person, it's going to be a bumpy road. And what if that STEMI don't come? What if that stimulus, this stipends or subsidies you get, what if they don't come? You didn't plan for that, did you? You just thought your white guy was going to come in for you and then fire all your employees or throw them somewhere or scare the shit out of them so they don't come to work. And now you got to work your farm by yourself and let your crops. I saw one farmer. Thank you, Father Farm, for the $10 donation. I saw one farmer, and I know one of them was AI, but I saw another one where he was destroying his crops because he couldn't sell them. And I know that one was some fake thing, but it was another one who actually was destroying some of his crop because he could not sell it. It was going bad. And others are sitting there trying to figure out how they're going to make it. You shouldn't have to be in that situation. You weren't in that situation with Joe Biden. You didn't have to get a stimulus with Joe Biden, did you? He was working on you guys, wasn't he? I know he was, because I remember one guy who had to sell his steer, his bull or whatever it is, because he was supposed to get a check that Biden signed on for him, and his check was supposed to be like $75,000 that was going to hold him over. Soon as Donald Trump came in, he canceled those particular stimulus or those stipends that they were going to get, subsidies, and this man had already spent over $75,000 putting up a new fence, going to buy him some more cattle and blah, blah, blah. And Donald Trump comes in, and the money he was supposed to receive, he was just waiting on. The check ain't coming. You guys voted for this shit. I don't like to see people fall and fail. I like to help people. But when you make bad decisions in your entire life as a Republican, you have gave two shits about people. You had no empathy, no sympathy. Your ideal, I don't want to spend no money helping nobody. I don't want to do that. Let the blue states help themselves, even though the blue states are paying you guys so that you can survive. Now you're starting to realize that your little evil ways of not helping people, when it comes back to snap you in the ass, you want us to have the empathy and sympathy that we always have. Well, we're sick and tired of having empathy for people who can't find it or muster it up themselves when they see people who can't have or don't have and say, fuck them. They can get it just like I got it. You got Republicans. In my entire life, I don't know about y'all, but in my entire life, I have never heard a Democrat ever in my life, you may know, say what Brian Kilmeade said. To kill all the homeless people, to euthanize them involuntarily, just walk up to them and kill them, and that's a fine fucking thing. Still got a job. The lady sitting next to him, forget her name, starts with an A, she just let that shit fly. Didn't have no kind of qualms about it, like, whoa, that's a bit too far, nothing. She said, yeah, Brian. She admitted, she said, yeah, to agree with it. At least the black dude swallowed his yep. He had 3 letters. He's yep. He tried to bring it back like, oh shit, I ain't gonna agree to that. He had 3 letters. He got yep, didn't get the out. She had 4 letters. Y-E-A-H. She said that entire shit. Didn't bring it back. Yeah, Brian kept going. Didn't have no qualms to hear this man say, let's just kill all homeless people with a lethal injection. And she's like, yeah, Brian, how did we come to this? So you knew that Republican ideology was there. The black guy, he pulled out of his Republican thought process and became black at that moment. At that moment, that was a black man sitting there. When he said kill them all, he stepped out of the Republican bubble and showed his black, like, malehood. You don't do that shit. Your parents didn't raise you like that. That's when you saw his humanity. Because the 2 white people that were Republicans didn't think 2 shits about what he said. Thought that was the thing to be. She didn't have a problem with it. Went to break, came back, nothing. 5 days later, an apology came. Went to work 2, 3, 4 days after that. Then offered a stilted apology. Reading off the teleprompter. And empathy, he couldn't come off the dome with it. I mean, think about this, ladies. A human being that has no empathy and no compassion, I can come off the dome telling somebody I'm sorry for something, even if it's like making it up. I can make it up on the fly right now. And this man had time and couldn't come off the heart. He had to read it. He's 61. He's not 21. He's not 15. 61. It wasn't a mistake. The only thing that was a mistake for him to say was to say it on camera, thinking that the rest of his followers, the people who watch this show, believe the same as him because the lady next to him does. And I guarantee you, Offset, many of the people at Fox feel that way. But it doesn't ride well. It doesn't bode well in the Republican Party, so to speak, because why? If you are stupid, you're more likely poor. Do I have to say it again? If you are stupid, you're more likely poor. Donald Trump thinks that the people who follow him are mostly stupid. He says it. Smart people don't like him. So a lot of their followers, like deadpan, would do whatever. They're stupid. More than likely, they're poor. If not, have family or at some point in their time homeless, or have somebody living with them in the trailer homeless. So he just literally said, all the people that Donald Trump loves and that are homeless but still living with their cousin or their mama, y'all should be killed because you ain't got no fucking job or no house. That's why Fox had him apologize. Too many of their followers are homeless, living with an uncle, aunt, mother, brother in a home, wherever it may be. That shit did not work well. That's why he was forced to say that. Other than that, and again, if advertisers pulled out, which they should have been, he would have been fired. We didn't put any pressure that I know of on the advertisers. We should. We should. Because unaliving the least of us, because they haven't found their way, they're hooked on a particular substance, they have mental health issues, and you close down the hospitals, or there's not enough hospitals for them in their community. Family died and they have no one to take care of them. They don't know how to pay bills, so they're out on the street. They can't empathize with these people. They want them dead instead of helping them. That is not of God. I don't know why these people say they are. I do know why, because they can fool you to want to be one of them. Oh, we believe in Jesus and God and Christ and this. And it's shallow. There's no God and Christ in them. They use those words because they know they can sucker people to come to Jesus through them and do their dirt in the name of Jesus. That shit's been going on at all time. You can read in the Bible how many false prophets was out there getting people to do stuff in the name of God and Jesus when it really wasn't. It was the name of Satan. And that's what they do. You don't ever hear them talking about being compassionate toward anybody. Maybe in the churches, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what churches they're in. But the people who profess to be, they just claim that shit. Donald Trump ain't been in no church. If he did, he'd probably burst into flames. Exactly. It's and DJ, homeless veterans. I mean, come on. How could you be saying this shit? And then we believe in our army and we believe in our military and we love our veterans. Unless you're homeless, we want you dead. I mean, that thought has never came across my fucking mind. Think about how evil you got to be to want to kill something because it just is having problems. When you need God the most, and you need people to have God in their spirit to walk by you and bless you with a prayer, or with a holding your hand, or washing your feet, or buying you something to eat, or sitting next to you and listening to your problems so that you can be able to shine some light in their life, give them some hope. And you tell me a Republican walks by and says, fuck you, I wish you were dead. That is of God? You ain't heard one Republican come out and tell you what Brian Kilmeade said was wrong. They ain't bit so much said shit about it. They let that shit fly. Let Obama say that. Let Bill Clinton say that. Let Hillary Clinton say that. If you want to go there to the biggest people, let Don Lemon say that. Let me say that. You got people out here saying, I feel bad for the family, but I give two shits about Charlie Kirk gone, and it ain't no skin off me. It's like, you know what? I pray for his family, but I got to go to work tomorrow. I got to eat. I got to feed my family. I got to feed my loved ones. No skin off my back. We all going at some point in time. His time came up at 30-something years old. I'm 54. My time's going to come up. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And they're all doxing you and trying to get you in trouble, trying to get you fired. And I'm like, what did we say? Other than to say, we don't know him like that, bro. He's not Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King helped all people. Okay? Affirmative action. Civil rights laws. Hello? Civil rights laws helped everybody. White women, majorly. Black people, Asian people, Hispanic people, immigrants of all kinds, shapes, and colors. That man died. Therefore, yes, we can all say, wow. But to compare a man that's helped all people and didn't spread hate. He said, I think about one day where my children, white boys and black girls and black people can get together. Judge me by the content of content of my character, not the color of my skin. These were platitudes, and he was considered a radical back then. He was considered somebody that was just up and up evil, and he was some kind of please understand, Martin Luther King was not beloved by white people when he was alive. Not all white people. In America, they couldn't stand him. They were trying to demonize him, tapping his phone. All this man spoke of was love, positivity, having a better life for black people. Nonviolence. Was he a saint? I don't know about that. But I do know he fought for our rights, put his life on the line. The fuck did Charlie Kirk fight for? Just to have dialogue? Good thing, have dialogue. But what did you pass, or what did you try to have? Martin Luther King helped pass the Civil Rights Act. The fuck did you pass? Nothing. So why the hell are you comparing a person who did for all people to a guy that did shit for nobody? Just made these crazy ass white people feel like they somebody. I'm like, you were already somebody. You just needed more hate to motivate you to feel like you're better than somebody. But prior to that, you was already somebody. That man spewed nothing but hate and majorly lies. And you love the fact that somebody was out there telling everybody your hateful ways, your lying ways, and you celebrated it. Well, go ahead and celebrate him. We don't have to. It's egregious how this man died. But blame it on the white guy, not on liberals. We didn't do shit. I didn't pull no trigger. I don't have a gun. And most Democrats who don't hunt, and the majority of us, don't have weapons. The sick fucks are you. You're the one who has 700 guns in 2 hands. You gonna shoot with your feet? If the time came for you to defend yourself, you only got 2 arms. You got to make a decision. One or the other. The rest of the 698 is going to still be there. And if you make it back, you'll have them. If not, that's 700 guns that's gone. It's the dumbest shit ever. Protect yourself. 700 of them? Really? 35 of them? Really? Some of the dumbest shit ever heard. You guys are so scared you buy guns for no fucking reason. If you want to protect yourself, get 1, put it in the house. Hell, get 4 or 5, put it in every room. 30? I digress from this shit. I digress from that. But we need to figure out something. And to me, these people, meaning like these conservatives, these MAGA, these Donald Trumps and Pam Bondi, the leadership, you can't get through to these people. They literally think that first of all, they're hurt to the fact that we don't embrace them. So they're in power and they want us to like love on them. I'm like, dude, you're not lovable. I mean, I'm serious. You're just not lovable. Lovable people actually have compassion and empathy. You don't have it. That's why I don't even see. They love their own. When you look at a person and I got friends, it's like when you see that your friends are really jaded in life, and the only time they really have some kind of humanity to them is when they're talking about things they like golf or sports or whatever. But when you're talking about like regular stuff like loving on somebody, feeding somebody, going out and helping the homeless, they ain't got no time, nothing, none of that, no energy toward that. Now you'll get some that is in the church, and their church may go to certain places to help people, but they're mostly trying to indoctrinate the people they're feeding. Come to Jesus, come to my church, and you can tithe and get another bologna sandwich. It's like, say what? Yeah, just come to my church. I don't want to go to your church, bro. What's that got to do with anything? You're doing good deeds. I'm not supposed to be paying this shit back. This is good deeds. This is shit that God pays you back with. They always, not every church, but as many churches I done been in growing up, the latchkey kids, shit. Jesus Christ. Every last one of them wanting a dime and a dollar for everything. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be doing this for good deeds. The tithing will come when God reaches the spirit of that person to give up said cash. Not for you to beg and lock people in churches till they pay you. That's kidnapping. What the fuck is wrong with these people? I saw that shit. I was like, a pastor kidnapped his congregation, locked the doors. This is some real shit. Locked the doors. It's a black church. I ain't gonna lie. I keep it straight. It was a black church. I ain't seen a white church do that, but they may have done it, but I ain't never seen it. I've seen some of the craziest shit in churches, y'all. And then just, that one pastor, something dollar, I need a plane. I'm telling you, man, when you step out of being indoctrinated into something, because I was in the church my entire life, from one to the other, aunts, uncles, everything, because I was a latchkey kid. My mom had to work, 3 kids by herself, raising 3 kids by herself. So she would come to church when she had time off, but when she didn't have time off, we were with every uncle and aunt going they were in different churches, different denominations. Some was Christian, some was Jehovah's Witness. It was all over the place. And each one of them, man, it was just, in the 70s and 80s, oh God, it was bad then, but it's gotten better, I guess. But always, in the 70s and 80s, they hated so much. Ooh, the Catholics would talk about the Baptists, and the Baptists would talk about, you'd be like, man, are we supposed to hear and love all each other? Aren't we neighbors? It was just nuts. It was just nuts growing up. But these people, MAGA, they always want to put God in something when there's no God in them. You can't tell me there's Jesus in you, and you talk about unaliving homeless people. And when you hear that, you don't have a pause. Like, that ain't right. You don't have a force within you that says protect them. If these people actually cared about the homeless and that they not be unalived, that woman on the set, that man on the set, I think his name was Lawrence something, Jones, on the set, they would have rose up because their God would have called on them to say something in the face of evil. And they had nothing to say. Nothing. Still had nothing when old boy apologized. Nothing. The black guy even said something egregious. Nothing. It's sickening. What's up, 5 on 5? Not going to lie. Seeing the American flag at half staff for Kirk pissed me off, especially when a lawmaker and her husband dog was shot dead and Trump had 0 fucks to give. Tell me about it. And here's the thing. I have not even heard them talk about that poor child, the daughter who saw it all. The daughter who lived after this crazed man came in and shot up her family. And she lived. How is she doing? They have not gave 2 shits about it. And here they are here threatening people for free speech now. I mean, Pam Bondi, Donald Trump. I mean, it's like threatening on camera to do something to people for their own First Amendment fucking rights. To say something about Charlie Kirk, I'm like, Lord Jesus, leave that shit alone. Not everybody liked Charlie Kirk. So you can't expect them to be all, oh, no. Many racist white people didn't like Martin Luther King and celebrated when he died. Are you telling us that we should go and arrest them? They should have been arrested back then because they celebrated because Dr. Martin Luther King died? Hell, Charlie Kirk said the civil rights movement was a mistake. We should never have done it. So black people shouldn't have had a chance to vote. Women, white women, you shouldn't have had the opportunity to get jobs. You shouldn't have opportunity to get paid as much as a man or even more, depending on your job position. No, without those programs that black man and the people who were behind him fought and died for, you wouldn't have these things. And it's just sickening how they just conflate these things as if like Charlie Kirk has done something for America. He has not. He's done something for a bunch of white kids that feel like they were left out in this political game, and they have so much hate in their heart they're willing to follow somebody who is openly racist. They want to be like him, openly racist, openly disrespecting liberals or Democrats, openly lying about shit, and having power that they don't have. They feel powerless, and they saw him as a sense of power, a sense of going against the grain and being out and out racist without having any kind of repercussions. In fact, he was getting richer and richer by being more racist. And they're like, oh, I could be myself and get rich. Oh my God, I love it. Loving free speech and making money off of hate speeches. while having debates with people, and he offering up lies easily as if they're truth, nowhere to find the source in which he's saying he's talking about, but he's indoctrinated with a bunch of lies. So much so he died with the last lie. It's crazy if you really think about it. This racist man that said if he got on a plane and saw a black person, he'd be wondering if the person was actually qualified. This man saying that black women or black people that he mentioned were all black women, that they didn't have the brain cells or whatever, the strength to be able to have the jobs that they have. They took the jobs of white men or white people. I think he said white men, but it's still white people. They didn't take any jobs from white people, but that's what he said, that basically they're not smart enough. And they needed DEI to get a white man's job. These aren't even the worst things. These are still bad. But he says so much worse. Trans people. Listen, they love the fact that somebody to champion that can say what he wanted to say without any repercussions. That's their outlet for being angry and hateful toward people who never did anything against them, other than the fact that these people have been ahead of them in life. They feel aggrieved. They feel pissed off at the fact that Black, Latin, Asian in this country have worked 10 times harder to get ahead. And because some white people just relied on being white and didn't go get that education and didn't go this, that, and to go that extra step forward, sat back and then pull their own bootstraps up, black people passed them. Then they got hate in their heart because the black guys got a manager job and they don't. They don't have a degree. And now what are they doing? Making degrees irrelevant so they can bring up poor white people who don't work hard enough to get a degree into the positions in which they don't deserve, that people have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to get educated to get into said position and to get internships to get there. They, just like in the FBI, they're getting rid of the college education. These people who are running our country, they're making it so somebody can step out of high school. Somebody can be, a mall cop and then be like, you know what, I'm going to go and try and pass the FBI and I don't have to have education. We're going to put a bunch of dumbass people that can't think rationally in a position. See, here's the thing about having intellect. When you have intellect, and not just saying you got to be the brightest person in the world, I'm talking about intellect, being able to discern, right from wrong, being able to see, how to escalate or de-escalate when things particularly happen, how to understand what, the concepts of things or the context of things, to be able to have like critical thinking. Those things come from people, as sad as it may be, it usually comes from people who seek higher learning because they love digging deeper into the situation. If somebody goes in and just makes a rash decision, you can pretty much bet that person has little to no education because they haven't learned. Just like anything else. If you want to study something or research something and get the facts, it's not just reading on the internet. You got to get multiple sources to validate what you're saying. If you got a conservative and a liberal source, and then you go to one that's non-political, if you're just going to use three sources, you should have more than that. But let's just say you get three sources. If the far right is like way over to the far, what the hell are they talking about? Where are the facts at? No facts, just feelings. Then the far left may have some facts plus feelings. Then you go to the center and you find out it's mostly facts. Match them up to which side matches. And I guarantee you, majority of the time, you'll find liberals with a high percentage of facts mixed with feelings. You'll have Republicans and conservatives filled with all lies and feelings. There won't be a fact in there. It'll be something similar to a fact, alternative ways. It's like, oh, is that purple? Oh yeah, it's more of I see reddish. Reddish what? Their entire thing will be completely off, and they'll try and put it in context like it's the truth. And you're like, that's not the truth. It's fucking purple, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? It's just that simple. You don't have to be, rocket scientists. Simple shit they get wrong. You ask them for a source and they can never find it. It's always, you go find it. I mean, why would I go find your source? I can't find your source because I didn't already research it. I could tell you I got mine from 3 news sources or 10 news sources and give you the link. They never have one because they know they're going off their feelings. They can't reproduce it because they got it from their stupid ass friend that they think is smart. And even when they do give you something, man, it'd be so far out of context. I'm like, dude, you just read the caption, didn't you? You just read the caption. You did not fully read the article. The caption was to pull you in. It was an exaggeration. It was the opposite of what they really were saying. They were being sarcastic. Read the article. It's the total opposite. Again, they seek their feelings and think that if an article matches their feelings, they ain't got to read it. See, this person believes who is their person? You know what I'm saying? It's just, they never take it to that level. And that's why I say, with Kash Patel saying today that they're releasing, they said, we're just opening it up for everybody. No, you're letting people who don't have a college education get a job that requires critical thinking, that a person who did not seek higher learning doesn't have the time nor the skills to do so. You just want somebody who's going to be a sycophant and do whatever Donald Trump says. If Donald Trump says roll over, they roll over twice. He asks them to bark, they start yapping. That's it. Collect the check and do. We don't need that. We need this country to be safe. People go to the college, and a lot of these FBI agents and CIA, they ain't went to no like Trump college either. These people are going to Harvard and Yale, and they could have done anything in the world, and they chose to be of service to this country. And we got a right-wing group that wants to destroy the safety of this country. I don't understand. If a country right now that is almost equally yoked as us, if not 2 or 3 countries equally yoked as us, wanted to attack America, they could do it. This stupid group of people could not defend this country. Our military could, but they need the leaders to tell them what they're going to do. They just don't act on their own. It's sad this country's coming to this. And this is what I miss about, because there's never been a perfect, I would say, president in this country. We know that. But here's another thing that I can mention for like Democrats that I like about it. Whenever a Democrat is in office, and this is 100% for me, I don't know what it is for you, I'm on cruise control. I know that person is not trying to destroy our country. I know that person loves our country. I know that person doesn't have any kind of strategy to fuck over every American. I know that's the situation that they're in. Now, don't get me wrong. You still got to pay attention to them and what they're doing. But almost everything they come up with that they promise, they start working on it. They may not get it because the House or the Senate may be in control of Republicans or whatever it may be, but at least they're thinking about doing something to help the people. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm just saying how I feel. I am very much in cruise control. I don't remember a Democrat in my time. I was a baby when what's his name? Peanut farmer. Carter. President Carter. I was a baby, so I don't know about his presidency, but I wasn't there. So I don't understand that part. But everybody else, if you had Democrats since I've been born, they have always at least preached about helping. Every Republican that I know of in my lifetime has always talked about what they were going to do for America is give us tax cuts, give us some of our money back. And they know people are greedy and they need money and stuff of that nature. But what the internet has done for America, because I know there's people saying there's a lot of things that the internet has done wrong by us. All right, take care, Swift returns. I know the internet is done wrong by some of us, but what it's done right by us is that it's easier to obtain information like immediately, like something that happened today, you can look it up. Before, back in the day, it wasn't automatically get to know something that day. It would be days later you find out what somebody said, not unless it was live. but it'd be days later before you found what anybody said. And now it's like you get it immediately. And even if the day has passed, back in our day, if something came on the news and they told you about it, uh, there were no reruns of said news. So you couldn't go online and be able to say, oh, I missed it. Let me go check it out. Somebody had to tell you because it wasn't going to rerun. You know, it wasn't going to come back on again. That day's news was that day's news. The next day you'd have to catch up by whatever was the update. You know what I'm saying? So now we have a situation where we can be able to obtain this information and be able to help if something's going on in our community, whatever. We can be able to be of service somehow. Then wasn't so easy back in the day. But those are the things that are kind of like still good for us as Americans that we can, as far as the internet goes, that we can be a part of helping and being a part of the process. It was before it wasn't that easy. And when you look about politicians, a lot of our politicians, again, I feel like we're in cruise control when the Democrats in, but you can still pay attention to important things and go look it up. But under Republicans, it is always a stressor because they're always trying to fuck somebody over. It is in their blood. They're constantly looking for something to fuck up. We got health care, and Republicans have been trying for years to destroy the health care as 10 million was on it, 15 million, 40 million on it. It's doing good. It's working. It's paying for itself. Wow, great. Everybody's getting affordable health care, and it's really good health care, to be honest. The people who tell me about it that I know love it. And then you got a party that's constantly trying to take it away. You ask them, why are you trying to take away health care from people who pay in their health care, and more people, 30 million more people, 40 million, I believe, has health care? Why would you want to take it from them? And it's not about the people. It's about their companies, billionaires and insurance companies wanting to charge us more. And I'm like, the insurance companies getting their money through the subsidy. They should be good. They're getting their money. Then you think about what do you want, Republicans? Oh, we want to take that money and put it back into the pot, and we're going to pay off the debt. And instead, they take that money, put it back into the pot, and they give tax cuts and say, we're going to build stuff, and they don't ever do it. And you got a party that's so hooked up with party that they'll never say anything bad about being a Republican. I can easily tell you I'm not down with everything Democrats do. But out of the two parties, it's the only party that does something that helps people that look like me and people who live where I live or have lived in my life, and help people who need help. Healthcare has helped every race, not just one. And I've never heard, and I'm sure it may have happened, but in history, the party that said that they would F over, everybody, no matter who you are, just as long as it F's over more black people than white, that was the Republican Party that said that. Reagan called us monkeys. Nixon made fun of him and said even worse, same thing, but he didn't want to call us monkeys, just like they could barely walk in the shoes as they can't walk. We're supposed to like these people when they hated us. That to me is like, it's crazy. It's crazy talk. Like me, love me. What happened wasn't Carter's fault. Yeah, see, I don't know about Carter. So, I don't know anything about what was going on with Carter. So, I don't blame Carter for anything. But I can't. I've never really went to research every president and what they've done. I've just dealt with what has affected my life since I was able to vote, or my parents were voting and telling me about stuff, lived experiences. And I'm probably sure you do the same because you probably have been around. I'm not sure, but you may have been around when Carter was there. But Carter has been, in my mind, a stellar human being, rest his soul. So you can't really, to me, you can't tarnish this man's character. This man was building homes for homes. Again, I don't know what his whole life was, but from the outside looking in, this man helped people. He took, even when he was old as I don't know what, this man was going places and building habitats for humanity. Hammering, I don't care if he just hammered 4 nails. He was like 95,000 years old out there. You can't say, like, it's like, I remember you seen it in Living Color. Don't tell me nothing about Miss Jenkins. Don't tell me nothing bad about Mr. Carter. Don't tell me nothing about it, because I ain't going to take it. Because that's, to me, is like, if you see a man that loved the same woman all those years, a man who every time he spoke, it was of kindness and love for everybody to come together, and a man who, no matter how old he was, got his ass up and went and go build houses for people who were homeless, you ain't got nothing to say about that man. Nothing negative. At least I don't. Let me see what KB says. I love how Scandinavian countries take care of their people. They have health care for everyone and the best schools because they want healthy and smart people. Love that, KB. That to me, like, that's the oasis. That's why I say what I'm trying to do with my other thing that I'm starting to Avid Solutionist is that it's a time that Americans start to say, you know what, and no like going against the government, thing like that, but I'm like, fuck the government in the sense of allowing them to determine how Americans are going to treat each other. See, the only reason they're being able to divide us is because we're all looking for them for leadership. And because we're putting them in positions to lead us, we have to follow one way or the other. But as Americans, there's 80% of us most of the time, and whenever you poll and say, what do you want? Do I want, higher wages? The majority of Americans want it. You got a small percentage of Americans that don't care about that. But you're talking about at least the 80 percentile, 70 something to 80 percentile. Well, let the other 30% fucking stay at whatever they need to be at. We end up starting business where we pay people more. Fuck all that. It's like, why wait on them to do something? We want them to do something, but it kills me how we can hear about a person online and somebody bullied them, right? And, somebody puts up a GoFundMe, or better yet, let's take it another way. Here's one right here. Exactly. I was gonna make up just a scenario. What killed me? Think about this for a second. A woman is at the park with a child, her child, and another woman's child is playing around in the same area. Okay, that person's playing, having fun. The kid's ain't having fun. The kid just happens to come across like your either purse or whatever it may be. But these kids are like 4 or 5 years old. 5 years old. They don't know no difference between. They see you may have had a toy sitting there. They want to play with it. They go after it. They had no idea. And this is the thing for me as a father who had children and babies, and we go to the park and get on slides. You know how many times I had the little baby thing with the baby bottle in it and things of that nature. How many times when I sat there and had that bag sitting there on the bench, the park bench, and my kids over there playing. I went to go get my kid. You know how many times little 3-year-old, little 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids were all over the bag and just playing with stuff? Many times. Many. Because little kids don't know no better. They just have fun, and then they see something colorful and they go get it. They see a teether, they go try and grab it. The thing you do is, get out of there. That's not yours. That's not yours. But whose parents? Where y'all at? That type of thing. You don't go up to that child and call them the N-word over and over again. Now, that woman called that child the N-word in this scenario. And because she was caught on camera saying this to the child, and probably said it prior to, because she had to wait till she got recorded, and she said this to this child, she went home and started a GoFundMe because she knew she was going to be either fired or whatever. This lady raised hundreds of thousands of dollars off of her calling a black child the N-word. What were you protecting? Her calling a black child. You're going to put money in her pocket. Think about that. Racism is so strong in this country that white people, and probably others too who are white adjacent, sent a racist who called a baby an N-word. Now, like, boy, get up out of my stuff. Child, get up out of there. Get your kid away from my shit. None of that. N-word, N-word. They gave this woman hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, I say, Americans, if we really wanted to change this country, if we can raise damn near $1 million for a racist for saying the N-word, we could raise more than that for Americans who are tired of the divisive bullshit and change it for those who give a fuck about each other. Because that right there makes no sense. If you can raise $1 million almost off the N-word and one white woman, if you want America to be different, you can start putting money into a pot and start changing it for Americans. Getting it so that people who have ideas, that you invest in those ideas with this money to build a better America for Americans who care about Americans, the ones who have a fucking heart, not the ones that are sitting there talking about how much money can I get off of this, how much money, fuck all that. At some point in time, we have to divorce ourselves from the people who don't give a fuck about anybody else. That is not a good relationship. To consistently be around people who always want the worst for everybody, and the majority of us, 70, 80% of us, want the best for everybody. Want the same things. Just don't want them to have it and them to have it based on race and sex and gender and who they believe to love. I'm tired of this shit, and it ain't gonna stop with us electing somebody. Because every time we elect somebody that we care about, oh, they're great for us, they go in and they get one thing done, and they're fighting against 30, 40, 100 other people that don't want what we want. And then we got to wait 4 years, 6 years, some 2 years before we can put somebody else in and go through the same damn fight again. We got to want to fix this shit instead of waiting on these slow ass people who don't do anything. You think if Elon Musk wants something done, it's going to take him 4 years to get it done? No, he pays to get it done right away. We are 330 million strong. That's $330 million if all of us put in $1. We ain't got all of us wanting to do this. We got about 60, 70% of us that would want to do something like this. And if you took 300 million and divided it by 6, you're looking at what? 50 million or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, like 50 million. 50 million of us putting in. That's $50 million to do something for the people. Healthcare. Help poverty. Be able to start buying properties and renting them out and getting equity instead of getting nothing, so that people can have the American dream by living in an apartment, get equity that you can take out to be able to buy yourself your first home or to buy another home, whatever it may be. It's about time we start focusing on the people. People helping people with good hearts. These people who don't care about all the rest of Americans, fuck them. I don't care about any of them. I'm sick of them. I'm tired of this. There's America, and then there's people who want to destroy America or want it to be the worst thing ever or care about greed and nobody else. This country, the majority of us have got to start thinking about the majority of us. If we want gun control, the 60 or 70% of us, the 60 or 70% of us can make a commitment to get rid of our guns. Fuck the government. Can make a decision to make it better for us in some way, shape, or form. To make a statement that if any crime is happening, it's coming from the 30% because they're the only ones keeping their guns like that. They're massive weapons like that. Then you can blame, whenever these things happen, 100% on them because they have not fixed these problems. There are problems and questions that we have, and we all want a solution. And we keep waiting for the slow-ass government to make that decision. And it's about time that Americans say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm going to fucking change it. I'm going to grow the fuck up and stop waiting for Papa government to take care of me. Fuck them. They're not going to ever do it. because they're beholden to the gun organizations. Now, when the people start organizing and stop buying said guns, what are these gun organizations gonna do? Live off the 30% that's buying guns? That shit ain't gonna happen. They'll go broke. There's no way in hell. These people ain't gonna be able to support their guns forever. No. The people need to rise up and say, we done gave the government all the time in the world to make these decisions that the majority of us want. If you're not gonna do it, we'll do it. In every aspect. Economics, all that. They need our money. We can create our own jobs, hire people who are good for the American people, and move on without that. Someday we're going to have to grow up and realize that if the government's not going to change its mind and move toward the majority, then the majority needs to move in unison with each other so that we can have the world and make this country what we want it to be. The American dream is attainable if the majority of Americans unified and said, fuck all that bullshit about fucking everybody over. There's a way to make money and make a good life for all of us through capitalism. See, people hate capitalism, and it's nothing more than supply and demand. If I have something to supply, I can give it to you. The thing is that the person in this country that's always selling shit, they're hateful bastards. You see all those people sitting themselves around Donald Trump. There's no way in the hell they can love on you and go kiss the ass of that tyrant. That should tell you right now. You fuck with him, we ain't fucking with you. And if majority of Americans started figuring that out for ourselves, putting the money aside into a pot for Americans, we can start moving and building and creating jobs and paying each other a living wage. And we take control of the destiny, not them. We make America what it is, because overall, after all, we are America, not them. It's we the people, and anybody working against helping the people, you're not American. You're focused on trying to be some dictatorship bullshit. I'm the leader of everything. Well, you can't lead shit broke. And if America finally rises up and say, I'm tired of that shit, and put your money where your mouth is, you could change it. These politicians ain't gonna never change it. You put one person in, you got 100 or 99 to deal with that don't want the same shit you want. And the ones who say they're gonna vote your way, when you go and check their record, 9 times out of 10, they voted the opposite way than they did for you to get him in the office. And you stuck with that little bitch, that man, call him a bitch, for the rest of the 2 or 3 years, 4 years, 6 years. And now what? We sitting here twiddling our thumbs, passing the time away, and never getting what the American people need. And that is, we need to work on poverty. We need to have health care for all those people who want it and need it. Even if we have to build our own healthcare system, America, it is time to rise up and say, I'm done with the bullshit. Only people who care about people, that's who I want to deal with. If you don't care about people, go on the other side and deal with the government. This shit ain't gonna never happen for you. Every time a Republican gets in, they cut your health care and charge you more. Democrat gets in, they try and help you. But then again, they don't vote all the way that 80% of people want. There's no reason we shouldn't have gun control right now. When Democrats was in control, why the hell we didn't do it? And I'm talking about every Democratic president that's been there. We have had a chance to have gun control. For instance, I don't know exactly, we did have gun control for a while, for so many years, and I can't tell you which president it started under, but we had some of the weapons that were that had a ban on them, and then they released the ban. I don't know why that wasn't like eternity. Why did it have to be like 10 years or 12 years? It should have been like forever. And if you wanted it to come back, you should have passed a bill to bring it back. But to just have it just for a year, 10 years, 12 years, that's ridiculous. You thought crime was going to cut down, and then if it did, you was going to vote on it again? No. Make it indefinite. Unless, and the situation is, if you want it back, you got to go and change the law. It should never have been temporary to begin with. Because when we did ban assault weapons, crime went down. So why would we bring it back? It just makes no sense to me, people. Who wants to be a mod? Who said that? Benny, if he needs a mod, I'm available. Yeah, I'll let me know when you want to be a mod. But these are the things that we need. I'll read the content. I haven't read it yet, but these are the things that we need as a people, is to care about each other. Because if we don't, who is? I'm getting tired. My entire life, I've had Democrat after Republican after Democrat or Republican, and I can't tell you the quality of my life has gotten like extraordinarily better. I've felt better under Democrats because I felt them doing things. Under Republicans, I always felt tense because they never cared about anybody. I mean, under Bush, I mean, we had all kind of disasters, and this man just flew over Katrina. Donald Trump, when they had Puerto Rico had its big thing, he was throwing toilet paper at him. I mean, no compassion, no love. And I'm sitting there like, dude, this is just horrific. This is how we care about each other. This is how we do it. I don't believe that, and I don't want to believe that, because when 9/11 happened, I'm in California. I felt that from my head to my toe, and helped out everything. Firefighters, I bring them stuff, brownies and things like that. They're in LA. Some of them flew out there, but I was helping out. Thank you to every service member, to every person who went out there. I mean, watching it on TV when they rebuilt it and everything like it was patriotic, all that. That's America. That's when America pulled together. And even Donald Trump turned that into a negative by saying, I saw Muslims on top of a building celebrating. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. In a time where everybody came together, this prick divided people over something that we all got united around. I don't remember ever on any news media, on any message board, on any part of the internet, I don't remember like one person saying anything like against America for that 9/11 happening. Everybody was together, trying to see how they can help, donating money left and right. It was just a unifying moment. And it's so sad that we got to have a tragedy to unify. Right now, there are Americans that are dying because they can't afford their medication. Why don't we have a fund as American people that help people like that? We always got these 401k, these 501c3s, donating to them. And you see this, oh, the kids, they can't eat and they're dying. They got flies in their mouth. And you never see a video of how old that child is now. You never see a success video from them things. You always see, yeah, they need food, send $35 per minute, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay. Pull your heartstrings. And all of a sudden you're like, where's she at now? Because that video was out. Sally Struthers is old as fuck now. She was a child at that time almost. Where did you keep showing the same Sally Struthers shit late at night? Sally Struthers is old. This chick is 35. Sally Struthers is my age or more. 50, 60, 70 years old now. And you're collecting money from this ad. That kid is as old as me. You got a baby there. What happened to her? Did she die or is she still alive? Why not show the success stories? Never held accountable. Never showing progress. Always showing something to get you to put money in their pocket, but never showing you the progress in that process. These things that Americans have to look at and say, you know what? I'm sick of it. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's start things to make things work. And I don't care if it's regional, if it's global. I don't care. I just know that we need to do it. And it's going to take, a lot of people, a lot of energy, and a lot of love. And the thing about it is, when something like this happens, we are creating a home where people live in, theoretically, that you care about people. That you think about, how is she doing? You're saying a prayer for him that may be in a hospital. You're sending food to somebody who just had their baby but can't cook. These things we can do. And sometimes you just may not have the money, but if there's something like this where you can be able to get the money out of to help and be of service, man, these things can happen. We can do them, and we don't need the government telling us what we can and cannot do. We can love on each other without even asking them or doing anything. We can turn this country into what we want it to be, and we can bring back the American dream without waiting on their asses to finally get their shit together and stop hiring stupid people and doing stupid things And we got to sit here and accept their dumbass prizes. It's times the smart people need to get together. The good people need to get together and make the life that they desire. Bring back the American dream, or at least make it possible, because our kids is not going to have it based on these fuckers who pretend like they're going to do something and do barely fucking anything. So that's what I'm focused on. You'll see me on Avid Solutions as I'm still working on building everything around it, but we need these solutions. I got a lot of them, but I want participation in them. I don't want it just to be me, because I ain't going to be able to afford this shit all by myself. So it's going to be a thing where we have to make decisions, and we have to start putting money into this pot to make it happen. We got to put it in a situation like, how much should it cost? I mean, everything, doing all the homework. It ain't like no fly by night shit. We got to do something that sustains. We're going to have to come up with these solutions, agree upon them, add our own 2 cents to them, how we can make them better, then go through the study of how much it's going to cost, how much we need to donate, and then create a program, a funding situation, a trust, or whatever it needs to be, so that it continues on long after we're dead, because it can't be a fly by night and just when I'm dead, it's gone. No, it's got to be there when we're not there anymore, for our kids and our grandkids and our great grandkids. In order for it to be able to do that, you got to figure out how much it's going to cost and how many people are going to be in, divided by how much, put money into it, and start creating these programs. And the thing that's so great about it is, as you can create these type of programs, they're for-profit programs. Meaning, like, you don't have to keep putting donations in forever. Once we start up a business that's created by our process, that business is going to be selling shit that we want. Fuck Amazon, fuck all them. We can start buying it ourselves and create our own thing, so that we can start buying from these other countries, and we start a corporation that's actually helping us. And we can get that shit happening. We don't need them. They get the money to start their businesses through other venture capitalists, through banks and shit like that, lending our money from our banks that we put in to billionaires and millionaires, government giving them billionaires and millionaires. We need to start building people who give a shit about us, making those people wealthy, so that they can be people who focus on people and not just making profit. We got to get people who have that mindset, so that other people in this world, we got to be happy about people succeeding. It's not a competition. We're on a mission for each one of us to be able to get whatever our God-given gifts or where we're supposed to be in life. We got to be a part of helping one another, not destroying or tearing each other down. It's just that simple. And for those people who always want to compete with you and try to get ahead of you, we don't need you, because all you're thinking about is me. This is a we program. It's a we thing, not a me thing. It is we the people. It's not me the people. So we focus on we, and we stop worrying about where things are going to fit and start saying, you know what? We're going to put this money in this pot, and we're going to decide how we want to deal things. And it's only put in the pot for the program, whatever it may be. Like the one I was talking about with the getting equity in an apartment, buying a duplex just to test it out. Get it, rent it out, and show how it works, that each tenant, you can make profit off the business, but at the same time give equity, see how long it would take them based on how much equity they would make each month, how long it would take them to raise the money to be able to get a home in their particular state. California's kind of high, I get it, but that's where I'm at. But I've been looking for duplexes and things of that nature, and seeing how much they're going to cost, and doing the cost analysis, because we really got to do this the right way. No games, no like trickery. We got to figure this shit out and talk to one another, and that way we can start working on programs that are going to help the many, the people who are like the 70, 80% that want things done, that want a living wage job, that care about getting people off the street, that care about building or buying properties for the homeless to live and try and get them to another phase in life. Those people who give a damn, that want that thing to happen. We can deal with all those things that we say we care about, and don't need the government to tell us shit. We can do it. It just has to be a lot of us that want to do this. Not all of us are rich or near rich, so we can't just rely on just a few people. We have to grow and continue to grow. Tell people about what we're doing. Grow, and then we can be able to make this happen for the majority of us. And the thing is, no matter what, we're focused on each other. It's a we thing. And as we get more understanding of what I'm doing, you can see. And it'll become more of a we thing once you start to see what I'm talking about, and then add stuff to it yourself to say, oh, okay, we can do this. And you never know. We might be able to license this thing so people can do it in their state like really quick, but after we test it and see how it works. So that's how we have to actually build for us, the American people who give a fuck about other American people. Capitalism that cares, not capitalism that kills you. Capitalism that kills or capitalism that care. We want the one that cares. We're trying to help. To anything, I look at it this way. If we help the least of us, we help the most of us. If I help the homeless get a home, the place that they're living in, they're paying the rent, which makes me wealthier, which gives them the opportunity to build wealth themselves. We win. All of us win. Not just I win, you lose. No system has ever been built like what I'm talking about. Because why? Because the majority of people who own shit, all they care about is owning shit. They don't give a damn about helping people. That's what's missing. They have capitalism about greed. They don't have capitalism about caring. There's more than enough to go around. How many yachts can you buy? And think about this for a hot second. If we built something like this, my wonderful, beautiful human beings that are Americans here, some maybe other countries, if we build something like this and it starts making profit for everybody involved, what American is going to want to go back to the old way where billionaires are the only one that rise? They're going to have to adapt to the system that we have or go broke. Who's going to want to go over there and buy their shit the way they want? They got it set up. I get nothing. I'm just going to buy your shit and I don't get anything in return. Why the hell would I buy your shit? When I can buy it, that same thing, that steak, that chicken, that house, that car, I can buy it through the people system. It's not called that, but the people system, and I get a piece of it. I buy it through you. All I get is the product. Why would I want to be with you? You see how helping people will build up a situation where people helping people, we become we the people instead of me the people. Right now, we're me the people. And I'm sick of it because we haven't gotten anywhere. We're divided, nowhere near united. We're all getting into different segments. Even I have a program that's focused on black people because, again, you can't find people that give a damn about, just one particular culture or the other. It's just insane. It's like we have to divide because of this, well, racism in this country for one, but because our leadership is so divided. At some point in time, we got to find some unity or we're going to just fight each other to the death. So are you ready to save it? Or do you want it to be destroyed by stupid people? So I'm saying let's save it. So we have to be in talks and keep coming back. And I'll go to, like I said, the Avid Solution is, that's where I'm going to explain a lot of the things that I'm doing. But I might make it a situation where we come together and speak either on Zoom or something of that nature where we get to know each other a little bit and actually kind of create a group of people. Because you put too many people in the pot, you got people just fighting over stuff that doesn't make sense. But those who want to lead, we can put them in the pot and say, hey, look, let's get together and make decisions on how to mold this to make it even better and make it more of a more perfect unified situation. And then once we do that, then we get the whole crowd in and say, oh, we got it together. It's going to cost so much money. Everybody throws in. It may take us a month. It may take us a year to raise it. But like I said, if a woman can say the N-word and raise $700,000 in like a week or two, there ain't no damn reason on this planet that if we come up something that's going to help people live a better life, help people get health care, help people get equity and have an opportunity to buy a house and make the American dream a reality. If we put that shit out there and it doesn't make a dime, then America really don't want to be we. We're in love with the me process. So that's pretty much what I have to say about that. I had other stuff to say about this crazy stuff going on today, but once I done switched over into the we thing, I ain't going back to the me thing for tonight. I appreciate y'all being here. Let's see what we got. Benny Loco, no, he has no live schedule. I wish he did. No live schedule. Yeah, I usually come on around 6 o'clock now. My job beforehand. If I was doing this full time, yeah, I would have a exact day and time. But I can't do it full time. I don't make enough to do that. But if I did, I would do this. I have no doubt I would do this 100% because that's what my passion is. But again, got to pay for everything else, and that doesn't happen yet. So yeah, um, Black Buddha Fish. I don't know who that is. All of my brothers and sisters, unless they're MAGA, then my patience reaches a limit. Oh yeah, I can't talk politics with people, especially if I'm in a work environment, something like that, or a business. I don't talk to them about it because I ain't got time to be like trying to educate somebody or them trying to educate me about their ideology. But on different social media, man, thank you. I appreciate that. 5 on fire. I know you are a donator. So I don't have the patience to try and do that. I get on here, and if somebody is willing to understand or focus on learning about the facts or learning about what I'm trying to do and bring us together, if they're willing, I'm good. If they're not, I mean, that's fine. Don't come back. It's no big deal. Because again, the friction of having to deal with people that can't think about we and always thinking about me, it's too much friction for me. I'm like, dude, you want better for your life, but you don't want to do it. It makes no sense to me. It's like, well, how are you going to do it? What kind of solutions? And that's what I love about it is you never know, bringing people together, what kind of brilliant ideas people have to solve the problems that we have on a day-to-day basis. And I understand that, if your God gave you these ideas and they're meant for you to live off of, not meant for you to just give for free. That's what you were meant to be. So of course you should get paid for whatever it is that you come up with. But again, if it's got the we incorporated, the more you help people, the more money you'll make. You understand what I'm saying? If these entrepreneurs really gave a damn about the people they were selling stuff to, not all of them, but I'm saying, I mean, some of them do, but if the big ones, like the billionaires, did that, there's so many lives they could change with that. But they don't choose to. They'll donate, but then you understand a donation is like one millionth of what they make. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't make a dent. It may help a community, but we're talking about helping Americans, give them better opportunity. If you're making that much money, that literally tells me that you can pay each person a living wage and it still won't make a dent into your pocket, but you don't want to pay them a living wage. And think about it. If you are a business creating jobs that are a living wage, it literally creates a financial source for you. If you put it this way, let's say like right now, I owned Apple. I was the person who created Apple. And I got employees there, and they say they're getting paid minimum wage, which I don't think they do, but they're making minimum wage. And I got a shit ton of money. I'm making gazillions of dollars a year. If I made it so each employee got paid a living wage, that starting out with the living wage, then it goes on up to more and more and more. So if a living wage is $100,000, so you start at $100,000, and then as it goes up, you maybe 400,000, a million, or whatever. I'm still going to be a billionaire. And you know what's going to happen even more is that the people who work for me are going to be loyal to the company. Why? Because they're making enough money to buy products and services that we sell. They don't have to save up for 6 months to do so. They can do so at their next paycheck. That means they're buying from me services and from you services. They got a living wage. So if you're keeping them poor, you're going to get that money back 3, 4, 6 months down the road, or they're going to get into debt, right? And then they got to buy your product and spend 6 months or 7 years to pay for it with interest. Why put people in that situation? The more you help people, the more they'll help you back. You're going to have some demons that don't care. But for the most part, the more you help, the more they will help you back. We've gotten used to just getting a product back. Sometimes when you go and buy a product, they'll give you a discount or a coupon type situation where you make money back when you shop. There are many ways to do something like that for the people. And therefore, if you're going to keep coming back to me, I'm going to make that money. And if I keep giving you every time you come to me, we're both going to make money. It's a win-win, not a win-lose. We can create win-win situations and keep capitalism intact. And people will still be billionaires. But we have people who give a fuck about people becoming billionaires, not people who don't. That's a huge difference. Huge difference. And I think we need to try that out as Americans and still have the capitalistic mentality, not the horrible side, but recreate it for the people. Because you got to understand something. Doing something like this, caring about people, one, they'll call us weak. They'll call me a weak leader or whatever the hell. They'll also call me a socialist. I'm not a socialist. I'm dealing with capitalism. I'm using capitalism that cares. Not everybody gets the same amount of money back. Not everybody gets, no. You work with capitalism. What you put in it, you get back. If you buy nothing, you make nothing. You buy stuff, you make stuff. It's capitalism. It's just capitalism that gives a fuck about people. Can't call that socialism. They'll try. Trust me. They'll try and destroy everything we're trying to do. But you know what? Then you know you're doing something right. We got to expect the fact they're going to try to destroy this because it destroys the model in which you keep everybody down and only a few rise. In this situation, how much effort you put in is how much you rise. Point blank, period. And some people are going to want to put in an extraordinary amount of effort. Those are the ones that's going to become rich doing this. The ones who just do it, every once in a while, they're going to become people who have pretty, good money, maybe 100,000 a year, whatever it may be, get a farm, chill out, live the rest of their life without having to work a 9-to-5 job. It's a beautiful thing if you pray for something to help people as to hurting people. God answer that prayer, answer mine. And that's what I'm here for. From here until the day I die, it's all about helping people. If I could do this full time, this shit would happen like that, a lot faster. But me having to do it a few hours here, a few hours there, it's going, but it's going slower than it could be. So as we start to grow and I start to get this doing this full time, we'll be able to get these properties. We'll be able to do healthcare. We'll be able to do work on homeless people getting a place to stay and getting the medication that they need. And think about it. It's so many of us. Think about how insurance works. It's a group thing, right? Your job has a group for their insurance. Is we as a people decide to become a group for healthcare, and let's say there's, like I've divided and everything and said we don't get the 330 million. Let's say we get 50 million. 50 million people on healthcare plan, they'll give us a deal. They're not going to sit here and have us pay $600 per person. 50 million people, that's a huge fucking group to buy insurance from. And then we all can be able to formulate our own healthcare. Fuck what the government's talking about. We can still be a part of that because we can take part of the government. But we also got this supplement over here that's taking care of us. When we get sick, there's something in the pot. You don't go broke. We can do this. But we need to unify and we need to care. It's simple as that. All right. Let's see. Just because yes, don't see me don't mean I ain't there. I see you, Being Loco. Thank you, Being Loco, for the $5. I appreciate you. Whomever, it's a great show. Thank you. Coming. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dennis. I didn't get a chance to see. I go back and look and see who wanted to be a moderator. Let me know. Just hit me up at info@straightfactsnochaser.com. And or my name, A.E. Weaver at I'll put it in the comments real quick. And we'll discuss. I say info. I make it a lot easier and really quick for me to type. Straight no chaser. All right. Will that allow me to do that in the comments? I hope so. Will it make it happen? Yeah, I think it's there. Yeah, info@straightfactsnochaser.com. Hit me with an email if you want to become a moderator. We have our moderators are members, so yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stick with members because sometimes you never know with people who might want to be. But let me know. Vermont has the highest healthcare premiums in the U.S. now, which means the highest in the world. Sorry to hear that, VD hurts. Um, again, we have to start working on things like that. There are ways to go about it, but again, mine is not going to be solved in a week or a month, or maybe even a year. We have to just develop those things, but we really have to, again, have those conversations. I'll start doing, on the other one, Avid Solutionist, which will be on this page for YouTube people. I'm just going to create another segment, try to make this like a network so you can have all the positive stuff here too. And I'll do lives from here as well, doing those. Um, Not unless we get a lot of people and I switch over, but I kind of like want to make them separate in a sense too, because coming to this station, that you're gonna hear, getting into somebody's ass about stuff, and on the other one, I'm not gonna be, cussing and stuff like that. I'm gonna be more helpful and more of the side of me that you see right now, coming up with solutions and having fun, interacting, those types of things. So I might create another station. It's a lot of work, but whatever works the best. Hell, I'll take advice from y'all, which I think I should do. Uh, I have over 1,000 wrenches on YouTube. I'll pass. Wrenches? What you talking about, Willis? What's going on? This one's easy to try. Angry Ginger. It's probably harder over there. I'm fairly new to this, so I can understand that. Let me go ahead and just thank everybody who's here. Nina, I see you. DJ. I know some people have left. Dennis is pretty much gone. Let's see who else. Five on Fire, of course. Appreciate you. Let me move this over here because I want to look a little bit at y'all as I do it. Oh, that wasn't good. There we go. It's kind of hard to see. Bring the camera mic down. I just say Benny Loco. I see that. DJ. I said it already. Vera. I think it was KB was here earlier. Oh, yeah, I say KB. Swift Returns. I know you left already, but if you see this later, I appreciate you. Who else? I think Mark was here earlier. I'm not 100% sure. As I continue down this path. Woke Mike, he may be gone. I heard something about it. DJW, I see you. I don't know if you're still here. Hey, I haven't seen you before. Tamara Chance. Maybe I wasn't looking. Canadian MP. All right. Oh, here we got Five on Fire brought in 20 people. Hey, Mia. I don't know if you're still here. Is it Damon, Lomax, Soraya? Trump stinks. The Silent Siren, Michael Hernandez. I am not attached to this. I'm not attached to this. Eileen Posner, Big Illinois 73, Regina Brown. Wow, that's the name right there. That threw me out because my ex-wife name is Regina Brown. King, so that threw me off, man. Tanya, Rod, Austin, Riri Love, Wayman Norman. Oh, my bad. Wayne Norman, Esquire. The Scott sisters. Oh, wow. Kelly Adams. What was that? What's that? Women are the prize. 60F. Welcome. Jason Porter and Tracy BR. Welcome. Thank you again, Five on Fire, for bringing them in. Kristen, nice to see you. Thank you for showing up. As we continue to go down this path, I think that's it. I saw somebody here. We need to stay in pairs at least. Humble Hummingbird. Welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know how we do, and I'm always late to put down how to support me. I'll get that down pat one day. But that's how you can support me. If you don't donate here or become a member, you can support me through Zelle, Venmo, PayPal, things of that nature. I'm here. It's getting later because of work. I have a huge load of work now, so I'm usually getting in and getting on probably around 6 to 6:30. So I'm trying my best to kind of cut stuff back. You can't always control your job if you're not full time doing this. So I usually get here between 5:30 to 6:30, and I try my best. I wish it was a way that I could actually, notify everybody of what the time was, like the day before, because it's usually my workload lets me know, like the day before, but or at least late at night. Like I'll get something hidden here, like, oh, we got this extra thing in, probably like 10, 11 o'clock my time, and I know I'm gonna be a little bit later the next day. There's no way to inform you that, so. But I appreciate you guys. I feel so left out. Boo hoo. Did I say rude interplanet Janet? I didn't, did I? I don't remember saying that. Rude interplanet Janet. I'm sorry. To feed a mean kitty. Oh, okay. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Who else? But you were listening. Okay. I was going through the names, but I missed yours for some reason. All right. I see you guys. You guys have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow, probably around 6 p.m. I'm gonna try my damnedest to get here at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, with my schedule being the way it is. But when I do this full time, I want to be on 5 o'clock. So we're gonna work toward that full time situation as I continue to build this on and on. So we'll see what happens. But until then, you know how it is. I'll see you when I see you.